Today I am here with a fascinating story of human and ape battle. We've heard since childhood that wild animals are beautiful in the forest, and children are in the lap of nature. This story is just like that. However, no matter how much you try to make an ape behave like a human child, one day it will return to its natural habitat. But how can an ape be made to behave like a child? And later, how this ape fights, returns to its natural habitat. So let's know today's story. At the beginning of the story, we see some hunters chasing apes inside the jungle. And a few moments later, these hunters capture some apes and take them captive. Then a big ape is brought to a science lab. At that time, he was given a puzzle to solve. At first, the ape fails to solve the puzzle. A few moments later, the scientists gave him a medicine called L1, and the doctors could see that the ape solved the puzzle within moments. Essentially, it was the composition of the ape's brain that changed within moments of receiving this medicine. Seeing this, the doctor who made this medicine, Dr. William, quickly goes to his boss to reveal the full subject of this incredible discovery. And he wants to have a meeting with all the doctors. Initially, they ignored William's request for a meeting. After a while, they organized a meeting at William's request. The next day, William was discussing his discovery with the board of members. At such a time, an experiment was being conducted on the ape. Suddenly, the ape broke out of the cage and attacked everyone outside the cage, even entering the board meeting room. It became so violent that the board members were very scared seeing it. They started to leave in panic. Eventually, the police shot the ape to protect everyone. From this, William's boss Jacob suspected that it might be due to the side effects of the medicine. So he instructed to stop the experiment. As a result, William became very upset. Along with that, Jacob orders the other doctors to kill the apes brought in for the experiment. A little later, when William met his colleague Prang, he showed William a baby ape and said it was the baby of the big injured ape. It had attacked everyone to take its baby back from its mother's arms. Hearing this, William became even more disappointed. Because for no reason, his hard work project was shut down. After that, William took the baby ape home. At home, William and his father were there. Together, they named the ape Shijar. During breakfast the next morning, they both noticed that Shijar eating his food with his own hands. Seeing this, although they were initially surprised, but William realizes that this is due to the effect of the medicine he made. As this medicine was injected into the mother while the child was still in the womb, so Shijar's IQ was somewhat higher than other animals. Thus William and his father continued to raise this baby ape day after day. 3 years passed this way, and Shijar had grown considerably. Shijar behaved like a human. He was very good at painting. Meanwhile, William's father, who was mentally ill, deteriorated day by day. This worried William a lot. After much thought, he decided to give his father the medicine from his experiment. After giving medicine, the next day his father appeared happy, lively, and completely healthy. On the other hand, seeing small children playing outside, Shijar also went out to play with them. However, since Shijar was an ape, the children were scared of him and ran away as soon as they saw him. Then a parent came and started attacking Shijar with a stick. Shijar got injured while trying to escape. At that moment, William arrived and saved him. Shortly after, Shijar was taken to an animal doctor. William had a good relationship with the nurse at the animal hospital. They noticed that Shijar became very upset after this incident. So William and Shijar went to a forest together to spend time. For the first time in his life, Shijar was thrilled to see such a big jungle, tall trees, and the open sky. At the same time, he started to enjoy himself by hanging on the branches of the big trees. So, after 5 years passed, Shijar had grown much older. During these 5 years, both William and the nurse got married. Occasionally, Shijar was jealous of the William's wife. He felt that William prioritized his wife over him. Shijar thought maybe he wasn't their child. One day, when Shijar returned from the forest, he sat in front of the car and gestured asking, "Am I your child?" William couldn't understand anything. So he first said, "Yes, you are my child, and I am your father." When Shijar asked about his mother, William is forced to tell the truth. In bringing Shijar in front of a lab, he says, "Your mother was part of our experiment. After applying our medicine on her, she died. And since then, you've been with me. I've raised you like my own child. And the effect of the medicine on your mother has affected you too, which is why you're so advanced." After hearing this, Shijar would often sit alone at home feeling upset. Meanwhile, William's father has started to become unwell again, losing mental stability and causing various incidents. One day, he mistakenly crashes into another car while trying to park his own, causing significant damage. The owner of the other car becomes very angry at him, leading to many quarrels. At one point in the altercation, the man put his hands on William's father. At that moment, Shijar observed everything from a distance. Filled with rage, Shijar quickly rushed over and attacked the other owner. Just in time, William arrived and rescued both his father and Shijar. However, the owner of the damaged car called the animal control room and reported the entire incident. Within moments, several workers arrived and took Shijar to the animal control room. Despite William's attempts to intervene, nothing could be done. He had treated Shijar like his own child, loving him dearly. In control room, the chief officer of the animal control told William that they would take good care of Shijar and keep him under observation in an artificial room. Then they locked Shijar inside the room. When William went to release Shijar, the chief officer informed him that Shijar would remain confined there until further instructions came from the court, and he would be well taken care of. This situation caused Shijar a lot of distress because he had never been confined in a cage before, not even at William's house, where he was allowed to roam freely. Occasionally, William would take him to the open sky and to the animal forest. This made Shijar yearn to return home with William. However, due to the complexity of the law, William was compelled to leave Shijar there. The next day, William went to court and applied for Shijar's release. He was told by his lawyer that he would have to wait for at least 90 more days for the outcome of the case. This news shattered him completely. In the animal control office, there was a boy who behaved very badly towards all the captive animals. He would force unhealthy food on the captive animals, and if Shijar refused to eat, he would spray him with a pressure pipe, causing Shijar a lot of distress. In such unhealthy conditions, Shijar missed everyone in William's family. Then the scene of the movie shifts to show William, who is very worried about his father, because his father was getting sicker day by day. So William thought that the medicine should be made more powerful so that it works better in the human body. And for that, he needed permission. So the next day, he talks about this matter with his boss Jacob. But Jacob initially refuses permission because we've all seen what happened in the lab at the beginning of the story. However, William informed that he has applied that medicine on his father, and it had worked very effectively. Upon hearing this, Jacob gives permission. Then they started working on medicine again. When the updated version of the medicine is ready, they apply it to an ape named Koba. At that moment, the medicine suddenly leaks. And there was a person with them, named Franklin, who accidentally removes his mask, causing some of the medicine to enter Franklin's body. Although no changes were seen in him at that moment. This is how they end their experiment. A while later, William's boss, Jacob, comes and sees that the experiment has been done on the ape. And the ape starts writing his name. Seeing this surprising matter, boss becomes very happy. Because finally, they have been able to create a suitable medicine to increase the efficiency of their company, Bryant. The next morning Shijar sees some of the chimpanzees being taken out of the cage unconscious. When Shijar asks an older ape what is going on, the older ape tells Shijar that they are being taken for experiments. A few moments later, William also comes with his wife to see Shijar. Then Shijar saw bruises on his body. Standing beside Shijar's cell, the boy is observed and it becomes evident that he has done something wrong to Shijar. Then in anger, William pushes the boy and tells the officer that if anything happens to Shijar, he won't let anyone live peacefully. Along with this threat, he threatens to close down the animal control office. Then Shijar requests William a lot to take with them away. But at that moment, William is helpless because he cannot do anything. 90 days prior, he won't be able to take Shijar away from there. So William left Shijar here after much persuasion. For the first time Shijar had a lot of trouble on William. Because of this suffering, Shijar decides to forget everything from his past life. The next day in the morning, when all the apes are prepared to go to the artificialization office, Shijar searches for various hidden paths there so that he can escape from there. After a while of searching, Shijar sees a very strong and big ape outside. This ape is permanently kept here because it was very fierce. One evening, when the friends of that boy come to visit the animal office, Shijar cleverly hides a knife from one of them. When the visit ends and everyone leaves at night, seizing the opportunity, Shijar freed the big ape locked in the permanent cell with that knife. Because of this, Shijar developed a very good relationship with this large ape. As the other apes are locked in the cell, they all start to scare Shijar. Then Shijar was not afraid and extended his hand of friendship to them. As a result, all the apes in this cell now form a good friendship. On the following day, when William goes to inject the updated medicine into his father's arm, his father stops him and says, "My time has come. Do not give me these anymore. I can't bear it anymore." And to keep his father's last request, William doesn't inject medicine into his father's body anymore. The next morning, when William goes to the lab, he finds that some doctors are experimenting with the medicine on other apes. Upon seeing this, William becomes angry and insists on stopping the experiment. He argues that since they haven't yet obtained the final results of the experiment they started on the first chimpanzee, it's not ethically right to continue experimenting on other animals. When William tries to persuade his boss to stop the experiment, his boss prohibits him from doing so. This leads to an argument between William and his boss, eventually resulting in William resigning from his job. On the other hand, we see one of William's colleagues, who accidentally inhaled the gas of the medicine while injecting it into the ape's body and becoming very ill. As his condition worsens day by day, he eventually goes to William's house seeking advice, but that time did not find William in his house. So William comes to the animal control office and bribed the chief with a lot of money to release Shijar. Getting the money, the officer allows Shijar to be taken away. When William goes to Shijar, Shijar doesn't want to come with him at all. He wants to forget his past sufferings. Because although it was painful for Shijar, he has created a separate world within this cell. And now Shijar has become the leader of all the apes. Seeing such a remarkable change in Shijar, William feels upset. And he returns home disappointed. Then after seeing all the apes together in the artificial forest, he thinks that it is just as easy for one to break a stick as it is impossible for one to break many sticks. And after understanding this theory, Shijar returns to William's house from there. And from his house, he steals all the L1 medicines from the fridge. And he tells all the apes in the animal control office to take it. And after taking this medicine, all the apes here become as clever and courageous as he is. All the apes here are very happy. This story brings a new turning point here. After that, Shijar starts giving various types of training to all the captive apes together, so that they can return to the jungle, that is, their natural habitat together. Meanwhile, William's colleague dies at his house due to the effect of the medicine. On the other hand, at the end of the training, all the apes take shelter in their respective cells, only Shijar remains outside. At that time the boy came and saw Shijar outside and tried to put him inside the cage. Then Shijar attacks the boy with a human-like roar. Along with that, Shijar releases all the apes from the cages. Instead, he locks the boy inside the cage. Seeing all this, when the caretaker comes there to intervene, all the apes collectively create a mess, even making the caretaker's condition worse. Even after all that, the boy enraged tries to control Shijar with an electric stick. Then Shijar starts spraying water towards the boy with a pressure pipe. At that moment, a short circuit occurs with the electric stick, and the boy died of electrocution there. After that, following Shijar's plan, all the remaining apes led by Shijar are freed from the animal control office room and taken to William's lab, so that they can free the remaining apes. On the other hand, when William comes to see Shijar again in the animal control room, he finds the situation here very terrifying. Hearing about the dosage of his discovered medicine and the caretaker's words, William understands what Shijar wants to do now. It's not just Shijar, he has also empowered the other apes who are with him with his newly discovered extra powerful medicine L1. Now they might be planning something terrifying. William's assumption proves to be entirely correct. Outside the lab, thousands of police are gathered to stop these apes. However, in the meantime, Shijar had freed all the other apes he has with him, along with the rest of the apes in the lab. Anyway, after knowing these things, Jacob actually finds his lab in a complete mess. A massive group of apes surrounds him, and within moments, they attack Jacob. Somehow, Jacob manages to save his life by escaping to the police. Meanwhile, Shijar and the other apes, along with their team, start heading towards the jungle from the city towards their natural habitat. However, the police block their path and start firing at them. Seeing this, Caesar doesn't sit quietly. He started a counter-attack on the police using whatever he got at hand. This sparks a fierce battle between the police and the apes. During the ongoing battle, both the police and the ape group converge on a bridge. The police had already been prepared on the bridge to launch an attack on the ape group. At this crucial moment, William reaches there and tries to convince the police that he will be able to take Shijar in front of him in some time. Seeing the situation escalating rapidly, these apes made a formation. Where one group goes over the bridge, another group goes under the bridge, so that no one can easily catch them or shoot them. On the other hand, the police refuse to agree to William's words in any way. Therefore, at one point, William's wife, compelled, distracts the police so that William can quickly reach Shijar. At that time, William's boss came with a helicopter and started attacking the ape group. Then Shijar isn't one to give up, so he jumps on the helicopter from a distance and attacks them without caring for his life. By then many apes were seriously injured. And then Jacob's plane also crashes. But luckily, Jacob survived. And in one place, while hanging, Jacob begs for his life from an ape. Then the ape didn't save him but pushed him down. And that is how Jacob died. Anyway, after all this, William finally reached that forest, once to see Shijar. because he raised Shijar as his own child. Suddenly an ape comes and attacks William. Just then Shijar came there and saved William and hugged William to his chest. William becomes very emotional in such situations. Then Shijar said in William's ear, "You go home. This is my house from now on." At first William was very surprised to hear this. Shijar later found out that he was the leader of this group of apes. He is very happy to see this. At least Shijar has finally returned to his original address, though it's too late. And this is where this great emotional story ends. Another episode of this series came in 2014. The episode where these apes declare war on humans. Why do chimpanzees and humans declare war on each other? How do they encounter each other again? Subscribe to the channel now to watch this awesome next episode, and don't forget to leave your valuable feedback in the comments.